What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And it's officially championship weekend. Can't wait to get into these two matchups. Some pretty good games we got matched up for this weekend. But before we get into that, make sure you take a second to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers, and we don't know, like I said, we keep saying we don't know what exactly we're gonna do once we hit it, but we will be letting you guys know we do have something in store. Maybe not nothing the biggest, but we do have something in store just to show our appreciation, you know what I'm saying? Outside of that, if you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like, comment down below, and take a second to follow us over on Instagram and Twitter. We're trying to get more active over on those two sites, but that's all we got. But without further ado, let's get into this AFC and NFC championship game. Now, before we get into these two matchups, let us take a moment and pay our respects to the team that wasn't able to make it to this illustrious championship weekend. Now that we got those losers out of the way, let's just go ahead and get into these two matchups. Starting off with the NFC Championship, with the number 5 seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveled to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And a rematch of a game that we got to see in Week 6, where we all was excited for that matchup, and it was Rodgers versus Brady. And the Packers jumped out 10-0. And once Rodgers did this, it was all downhill from there. Basically, this game was not an offensive onslaught that we thought we were going to see. It basically was Tampa Bay's defense basically just abusing Green Bay's offensive line, Green Bay's offense in general. And it was a game that went a lot different than what we expected. Now, this is the only game I think I've ever seen in my life where Aaron Rodgers threw 2 interceptions. We don't see him turn the ball over often, let alone twice in one game. And this is one of those games where that happened. Now, I do think, in my opinion, that that's an anomaly. I don't think that's something that we'll see happen often. So I'm more inclined to take the Packers in this game. It's not because, the Bucs knocked off my sorry Saints last week, even though, I know a lot of people would think that. But honestly, I do think that the Packers have been on a roll and Rodgers has been on fire. And I don't think that Tampa Bay's defense is going to be able to stop them. I mean, even going to the Saints game last week, Drew Brees had a lot of opportunities to take advantage of that secondary. Drew Brees just looked bad last week. And I don't think Tampa Bay is their secondary basically is the weakest part of that defense. And Aaron Rodgers, the way he's been playing, I just see him going out there and airing it out against them. Now, I will say this. One of the key reasons the Bucs were able to beat the Packers in the last matchup was that they were in his face the whole game. Rodgers wasn't able to get settled. He was off rhythm the entire game. And they were basically in that backfield with him the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that would play a major factor into that. But I'm more inclined to take the Packers playing at home with a 1 seed. It's the second season in a row where they make it to the NFC Championship. And I mean, after last season where they were embarrassed in that game, I don't see that happening in this one. So I'm more inclined to take the Packers in this game. Don't let me down. Obviously, I'm not going to root for the Bucs, but I will say this. I am a big-time Brady fan, and I would like to see him. I don't want to say I would like to see him do anything. Let me stop. I'm trying to be nice, but it's cool to see that this guy, his age, in all seriousness, be able to go out here and play as well as he did this season. We thought he was just, that typical system quarterback. And he's not in the system that he played in New England at all. It's completely different. This is not even the same type of offense they were running in New England when he was there. So it's cool to see. Yeah, I really think that this is probably going to be his last game of the season with Tampa Bay. Also, it's another story that developed going into this game is that Antonio Brown is ruled out officially. We wasn't sure. I know last week he got injured playing against the Saints. We were kind of like saying, we were hearing things that it wasn't a serious injury basically, but yeah, he's been ruled out. And I don't think that changes much. I mean, he wasn't even on the team the last time these two teams faced off. So yeah, going into that, all I have to say is I think the Packers win this one, but I do think it would be a pretty damn close game. I think it's going to come down to a Rodgers fourth quarter drive where they take the lead back over the Bucs, because these two teams, they're gonna be playing for that spot, man. They those defenses are gonna be balling, man. So yeah, that's my pick for the NFC Championship. Let's move on into the next game. Now on into the AFC Championship game. This is gonna be a tough one for me. I honestly don't know who I want to take in this one. I really like the Bills team that I see. I like the defense, the way they played last week, and I've loved this offense all season. And with Kansas City, we all know what we're getting in this one. So the story in this one is that Patrick Mahomes last week went out the game with a concussion in the third quarter. He has been cleared to play this week, supposedly, from what the reports have been saying. And I'm expecting a shootout between these two teams. Now, who I decide to pick may surprise some people, but I have secretly been rooting for the Bills all season long. And it kind of goes back to some of the very first videos we started putting up on this channel, where I really said that I like what I seen from the Bills last season, and that I expected them to build off of that. And that's exactly what happened. I think this Bills team is going to be the team to win this game. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to beat the Bills. Now, I'm not going to say they can't beat the Bills. This game could go either way. Me personally, with just how good that Bills defense played last week against Lamar Jackson, who, again, he's not a Mahomes, but that secondary for the Bills is probably the strongest part of that defense. They don't really have that good of a pass rush or anything like that, but they can cover. Tre'Davious White is, in my opinion, still one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I know it's probably been a down season for him, but I still think that he can clutch up and make those plays that he needs to make. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs has pretty much been unstoppable all season, and I don't see anybody in that Chiefs secondary that's going to be able to stop that. Now, what concerns me with the Bills in this game is their lack of a run game, which has been a problem all season. And honestly, the reason that it doesn't bother me as much this week is because I said the same thing when they played the Bills. When the Bills played the Ravens last week, and I felt like their lack of a run game is what was going to hurt them, because the Ravens are one of those teams that's, they're one of those ground and pound teams that could keep the ball on the ground, keep you off the field on offense, and run the clock out. And I thought that would be something that would hurt the Bills last week, and it didn't. They went out there and played their game. They threw the ball pretty much the entire game, down to the end of it. And what I like about this Bills team is they find ways to win games, whether it's close, whether it's blowing the team out. And I do expect this game to be a shootout. I'd expect both of these championship games to be pretty damn close, in all honesty. I expect the Packers and the Bucs game to be more of a defensive battle. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game like most people would think. But I do expect this game to get very high scoring. Like, I expect this game to go back and forth, basically from beginning to end. But I have been rooting for the Bills. I'm a big fan of that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs connection. I'm a huge Tre'Davious White fan, and just a fan of how this Bills team is built in general. So I'm going to have to take the Bills in this matchup. And hopefully the Bills don't let me down with this one. But, I mean, that's all I got. It's only 2 games. The saddest thing you'll see about this NFL season right now is that it's so close to coming to an end, man. I mean, what are football fans going to do once this game's over? We only have basically the Super Bowl left because, I mean, on top of us even really having a Pro Bowl this season, none of us give a fuck about the Pro Bowl anymore, man. So, yeah, those are my picks for this week. I can't wait to see how these games pan out, but that's all I got. We do have another video coming real soon. I don't know exactly when we're going to be able to get it out yet, but it should be coming within the next day or 2. But yeah, man, go Bills, go Packs. Yeah, I'm out.